Dean Martin. Dean Martin, the legendary crooner and member of the Rat Pack, was known for his smooth voice, effortless charm, and laid-back swagger. But beneath his iconic image was a man who valued simplicity, laughter, and love. When he passed away in 1995, his tombstone bore a short but powerful engraving, "Everybody loves somebody sometime." At first glance, it's a nod to his 1964 chart-topping hit. But for those who knew Dean, the phrase held deeper meaning. It reflected his philosophy on life, that love, in all its forms, is inevitable and worth waiting for. Unlike many of his peers, Dean never chased legacy through grand gestures. He let his music and warmth speak for him. This epitaph reminds visitors of a man who found joy in the everyday, who didn't need to shout to be heard. Even in death, Dean Martin's final words sing with charm and sentiment. It's more than a lyric, it's a lasting echo of the love and connection he brought into the world. A gentle goodbye from the king of cool himself. John Wayne. John Wayne, the towering symbol of rugged American masculinity, left an indelible mark on Hollywood's golden age with his gravelly voice, commanding presence, and no-nonsense attitude. But behind the tough cowboy exterior was a man deeply rooted in family, patriotism, and personal conviction. When he passed in 1979, his tombstone was left unmarked for years at his request. But eventually, a modest plaque was placed, bearing a deeply personal engraving in Spanish, "Feo, fuerte y formal," which translates to ugly, strong, and dignified. These were the 3 words Wayne once told a journalist best described how a man should live. The phrase is startling in its honesty. Wayne acknowledged his flaws while standing tall in strength and character. It's a humble yet heroic farewell from a man who played legends but never saw himself as one. The use of Spanish also honored his love for Latin culture and his Mexican heritage through his children. It's not the grand cowboy send-off fans might expect, but rather a gritty, grounded reminder of the principles John Wayne lived and died by. Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason, the unforgettable star of The Honeymooners and a master of both comedy and drama, was larger than life on and off the screen. Known for his booming personality, brash humor, and iconic catchphrases, Gleason lived with a flair for the dramatic. So it's only fitting that his tombstone features a bold, cheeky engraving, "And away we go." It's the classic line he repeated on countless episodes of The Jackie Gleason Show, often accompanied by a sweeping gesture and a mischievous grin. But in death, those 4 words take on a poignant new meaning. "And away we go" becomes a final curtain call, a nod to life's ultimate exit, delivered with the same showman's wit that made him a household name. It reminds us that Gleason didn't just want to entertain, he wanted to be remembered with a smile. There's a deep charm in choosing laughter as a farewell. His gravestone becomes not just a marker of death, but a continuation of his stage presence, one last laugh from the great one, echoing into eternity. Frank Sinatra, the voice that defined a generation, lived a life as grand and complicated as his music. Known for his velvet vocals, fiery temperament, and deep loyalty to friends and family, Sinatra embodied both swagger and sentiment. When he died in 1998, fans expected something iconic, and he delivered. His tombstone bears the inscription, "The best is yet to come." It's a lyric from one of his later hits, often interpreted as an ode to hope, optimism, and forward-looking belief. But on his grave, it becomes something far deeper. Sinatra, who grappled with fame, heartbreak, and reinvention throughout his life, seems to be whispering reassurance even in death, that the journey isn't over, that something beautiful still lies ahead. It's a romantic, defiant wink at mortality, perfectly in line with his persona. The phrase captures both his bravado and his undying spirit. Even now, visitors can almost hear his voice crooning those words in the wind. "The best is yet to come" isn't just a song title, it's Frank's final promise to the world, sung straight from the soul. Bette Davis. Bette Davis, the fierce, sharp-eyed legend of Hollywood's golden age, was never one to shy away from controversy or a challenge. Known for her powerful performances and commanding screen presence, Davis carved out a legacy that refused to be ignored. So it's no surprise that even in death, her tombstone carries a bold and unforgettable message: she did it the hard way. The words sum up not just her career, but her entire life. Davis battled studio heads, defied typecasting, and stood her ground in an industry that often demanded silence from women. Her journey was marked by struggle, determination, and an unyielding refusal to conform. "She did it the hard way" isn't a complaint, it's a badge of honor. It tells the world that Bette Davis earned every ounce of her fame and respect through grit and talent, not privilege or shortcuts. It's a statement of pride and power, perfectly echoing the woman who could steal a scene with a single glance. In the end, Bette Davis's tombstone delivers the same message she lived by: unapologetic, uncompromising, and unforgettable. Jack Lemmon. Jack Lemmon, the beloved actor known for his impeccable comedic timing and heartfelt dramatic roles, always brought a relatable charm to the screen. From Some Like It Hot to The Apartment, Lemmon embodied the everyman, vulnerable, funny, and deeply human. Even in death, he managed to keep things lighthearted and uniquely his own. His tombstone reads simply, Jack Lemmon in. That's it, like the opening credits of a film, as if life was just another role and death was merely the next scene. It's clever, understated, and beautifully theatrical, exactly what you'd expect from a man who balanced humility with showbiz flair. The inscription plays with the idea that the performance isn't over, it continues somewhere else. There's no melodrama, no grand farewell, just a wink and a nod from a man who never took himself too seriously. It's not just a gravestone, it's a final punchline, a curtain call in perfect character. Jack Lemmon's epitaph is a masterclass in humor, humility, and timeless style, a quiet encore from a legend who always knew how to make an entrance. Merv Griffin. Merv Griffin, the charismatic talk show host and brilliant mind behind iconic game shows like Jeopardy! And Wheel of Fortune, had a lifelong knack for showbiz and surprises. Known for his smooth delivery and sharp wit, Griffin was a media mogul who understood timing, both on camera and off. So when he passed away in 2007, he left behind one of the most unexpected and humorous tombstone inscriptions in Hollywood history, I will not be right back after this message. It's a brilliant twist on the familiar TV catchphrase that millions heard him say over the years. But here, it becomes a final joke, cheeky, self-aware, and perfectly timed. Griffin turned his own headstone into a punchline, staying in character as the eternal entertainer. It's a farewell that speaks volumes about his personality, clever, light-hearted, and always one step ahead. Even in death, Merv Griffin knew how to keep the audience smiling. His epitaph isn't just funny, it's genius. It reminds us that some stars don't fade quietly, they sign off with a wink and a perfectly delivered one-liner. Billy Wilder. Billy Wilder, the legendary director and screenwriter behind classics like Sunset Boulevard, Some Like It Hot, and The Apartment, was revered for his razor-sharp wit and mastery of storytelling. Known for blending biting satire with deep emotional nuance, Wilder had a unique ability to reveal life's absurdities with humor and grace. So it's only fitting that his tombstone carries one of the most brilliantly sardonic epitaphs in Hollywood, I'm a writer, but then nobody's perfect. The line is a callback to the unforgettable closing line from Some Like It Hot, but here it takes on a new layer of meaning. It's Wilder's self-aware, playful farewell, poking fun at himself while still giving a final nod to one of his greatest films. It's humble yet hilarious, echoing his belief that nothing, not even life or death, should be taken too seriously. Wilder's epitaph feels like one last scene from one of his movies, witty, unexpected, and disarmingly honest. In just a few words, he turns his own grave into the perfect punchline. For a man who lived through his scripts, this was the ultimate final draft. Jayne Harlow, Hollywood's original blonde bombshell, was a dazzling star of the 1930s known for her platinum hair, sultry charm, and magnetic screen presence. Despite her glamorous image, Harlow's life was tragically brief, she died at just 26 from kidney failure. Her tombstone carries a simple but profoundly touching inscription, too young, too beautiful, too soon. These words capture the heartbreaking essence of her story, a life and career cut far too short just as she was ascending to superstardom. The engraving doesn't just memorialize her physical beauty, it mourns the promise and potential that vanished with her untimely death. It's a somber reminder of Hollywood's fragility, where fame and youth can be fleeting. Yet, despite the sadness, the epitaph immortalizes Harlow's status as a lasting icon. In just 5 words, it tells the story of a radiant star who burned bright, even if only for a brief moment. Jayne Harlow's tombstone remains a silent testament to both the glamour and the tragedy of the Golden Age. Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge was a trailblazing star and the first African-American woman nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress, breaking barriers during Hollywood's Golden Age. Her talent, beauty, and grace captivated audiences, yet her life was marked by personal struggles and heartbreak. When she passed away in 1965, her tombstone bore a simple yet deeply meaningful inscription, "A jewel beyond price." This elegant phrase perfectly captures the rarity and brilliance she brought to the world despite the harsh obstacles she faced. It honors her as a precious gem who shone with unparalleled radiance in an industry rife with discrimination. The engraving is a tribute to her resilience, talent, and enduring legacy, reminding us that her true value wasn't just in her fame but in the path she paved for future generations. Dorothy's tombstone stands as a quiet but powerful celebration of her life and artistry, an intimate acknowledgement that while her time was cut short, her spirit remains priceless and timeless in Hollywood's history. Fats Waller. Fats Waller, the exuberant jazz pianist, composer, and entertainer, was a whirlwind of energy and joy who left an indelible mark on the world of music. Known for his playful spirit, infectious humor, and incredible talent, Waller's legacy is filled with timeless tunes that still make listeners smile. When he died suddenly in 1943 at just 39 years old, his tombstone carried a heartfelt and fitting inscription, "Hold on to your hat and you'll never fall." This quirky yet wise phrase perfectly embodies Waller's upbeat philosophy on life. It encourages resilience, keeping a sense of humor, and holding tight through life's ups and downs, a message he lived by both on stage and off. Unlike many somber epitaphs, Waller's words bounce with his signature energy and warmth, inviting visitors to celebrate life with rhythm and laughter. His tombstone isn't just a marker of death, it's an extension of his joyful spirit, a reminder that even in the face of hardship, the show must go on. Jayne Mansfield, the iconic blonde bombshell of the 1950s and 60s, was famous for her dazzling beauty, charismatic presence, and bubbly personality. A true symbol of Hollywood glamour and sensuality, Mansfield's life was as bright and bold as the roles she played. But beneath the glitz, she was known for her warmth and love for her family. Tragically, she died in a car accident in 1967 at just 34 years old, leaving a legacy that still captivates fans. Her tombstone features a touching and intimate engraving, "We live for those we love, and those who love us live forever." This heartfelt message shifts focus from fame to the enduring power of love and memory. It reflects Mansfield's deep bond with her children and loved ones, a reminder that although she left the world too soon, her spirit lives on through those she touched. The epitaph is both tender and timeless, a gentle tribute from a star whose light still shines long after the cameras stopped rolling.